What if everything you see, feel, and believe is vibrating at a quantum level, and your thoughts actually shape reality? Imagine the same physics that governs electrons and atoms is governing your life, your dreams, your spiritual path. In 2025, the Nobel Prize in Physics uncovered how even macroscopic systems tunnel through walls. So what does that teach our spirit? What if the gap between science and spirituality collapses? What if quantum physics becomes your spiritual tool? Today we're going deep, blending the latest quantum breakthroughs with timeless spiritual wisdom, and showing you how to manifest with clarity and power. So settle in, open your mind, and prepare to awaken as we break down the problem, the discovery, the method, the transformation, and the mission. Let's begin. We live in a world of contradictions. On the one hand, modern life gives us unprecedented scientific understanding, astonishing technology, and global connectivity. On the other hand, many of us feel a deep lack. We feel disconnected, overwhelmed, searching for meaning, restless, even in this age of abundance. You might ask, why do I still feel stuck when everything is possible? Here lies the problem. We've inherited a model of reality that treats us as separate. We've learned to believe that outside world happens to us, that we are passive recipients of events. We forget we are co-creators. Spiritually, many traditions tell us, you are the creator of your reality. But science until recently didn't support that fully. We felt cosmic, disconnected, underpowered, lost in the illusion of limitation. Meanwhile, quantum physics tells us that at the foundation of reality, the invisible world of particles and waves, the rules are astonishingly different than our everyday classical model. Particles can exist in multiple states, be entangled, tunnel through barriers. The gap between quantum logic and our human life logic remains wide. So what is the core issue? First, we don't know the full map of how our consciousness interfaces with the quantum field. We suppress our intuition, dismiss our dreams, ignore the invisible. We rely solely on what I can touch, what I can measure. And yet inside us there is yearning, a feeling that there must be more. Second, we lack practical tools. Many spiritual teachings say manifest your desires, raise your vibration, align with your soul. But often this is vague, lacking framework for how. In parallel, if you study science, you might learn about quantum superposition or tunneling, but these become difficult to apply to daily life, to your job, your relationships, your finances.
Third, fear and limitation dominate.
The invisible world is often portrayed as mysterious, uncontrollable.
We feel small.
We feel that I cannot change the world changes me. So our aspiration dims. We become reactive instead of creative. Here's an emotional story. Imagine Sarah, a bright young woman in New York. She had everything: good job, supportive family, stable home. And yet she felt empty. She kept reading self-help books, attending workshops, meditating. But each morning she'd wake with a heaviness. She'd say, I don't feel like me. One night she dreamt she was standing before a locked door, trying keys that didn't fit. When she finally tried one key, she found it turned, but the key was one she had forgotten she even held. She woke up shaking, asking, what is this door? She sensed she was locked out of her deeper reality. That's the problem. The door is locked in our consciousness. The key is there, but we need the map. In summary, the problem is the split. Our spiritual longing and the scientific material world seem disconnected. We sense power but don't know how to access it. We believe in possibility but feel limited. What if science could illuminate spiritual truth, and spirituality could give science meaning?
What if the key lies in quantum manifestation?
That is where we go next.
Let's shift the scene.
In October 2025, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to John Clark, Michel H. Deverett, and John M. Martinis for the discovery of macroscopic quantum mechanical tunneling and energy quantization in an electric circuit. What does that mean in plain English? These scientists showed that quantum effects, previously considered only at atomic scale, can be observed in systems large enough to hold in your hand. They created superconducting circuits where electrons collectively danced in a quantum way. They tunneled, they shifted states, they quantized energy. Why is this momentous? Because it collapses the boundary between microscopic quantum world and macroscopic classical world. The weirdness of quantum physics becomes not just theoretical but real in our scale. The implication: the quantum field is not separate from your life field. What you once thought was science for physicists, now whispers intimately to your inner world. Now let's bring in the spiritual angle. Many ancient wisdom traditions have said that reality is consciousness, that the observer influences the observed. Modern quantum physics validated that measurement matters. The fact that a quantum system can tunnel through a barrier that classical logic forbids suggests that limitation is not absolute. A barrier is not necessarily a barrier for consciousness-aware systems. Picture this: the barrier is your belief, I can't succeed. On a quantum scale, the system doesn't climb over the wall, it passes through. That radical possibility opens up your life story. The scientists didn't directly speak about spirituality, yet their discovery lights a path. Your inner field connects with the quantum field. Let's use a practical story. Mark, a software engineer from Seattle, always believed he was too late to pursue his dream of writing a novel. Every morning he said, "I'm stuck." One day he heard this news about the Nobel Prize, read about quantum tunneling in circuits, and had a thought: if electrons can pass through walls, maybe my thoughts can pass through my limiting beliefs. He started writing not from I must succeed, but from I now create. Within 6 months he had a 50-page draft. 2 months later published a short story online with surprising reader engagement.
The mécanique?
He shifted his identity from blocked to open. He saw the wall of doubt as quantum passable. In essence, the discovery is a bridge. Science tells us that the quantum realm is real, accessible, not just metaphorical. Spirituality says you are part of that realm. When you understand this union, you shift from being subject to existence to being co-creator of existence. Now that you see the bridge, you are primed for the next section, the method, how to operationalize quantum manifestation in your daily life.
Here we go into the practical framework.
How do you take this quantum spiritual insight and apply it? This method has 3 steps: awaken, align, amplify. I will give you exercises you can do. Step 1. Awaken. Become aware of your inner field and the quantum field. Exercise. Morning quantum pause. Each morning upon waking, sit quietly for 2 minutes.
Close your eyes.
Imagine that inside your body is a tiny circuit, like those superconducting circuits in the Nobel discovery. But instead of electrons, you have your conscious attention flowing. Visualize a barrier representing a limiting belief: I'm not worthy, I can't succeed, I'm too late. Now allow your awareness to gently observe that barrier.
Don't fight it, don't judge.
In your mind's eye, imagine the awareness tunneling through the barrier, just noticing that maybe your attention can pass through. Say silently, I now acknowledge the barrier, and I let my awareness pass beyond it.
Feel the subtle shift.
Why this works: in quantum mechanics, observation changes the state.
You awaken the observer in you.
You shift from being subject to the limitation to being awareness of the limitation. Step 2. Align. Adjust your internal vibration, beliefs, emotions, identity, with the outcome you want. Exercise. Quantum identity rewrite. Write a sentence: I am the person who, example, I am the person who inspires and uplifts others through my writing. Then read it aloud with feeling, 3 times. Tap lightly on your heart center while doing so. Then visualize the quantum field, the infinite sea of possibilities, and see your sentence as a waveform radiating out. Feel as if the electrons in that superconducting circuit are cooperating with you, vibrating in accordance with your statement. You're embodying not just the goal but the identity. Energy quantization. Your energy levels shift when you decree a new identity. Step 3. Amplify. Take action and amplify your field. Exercise. Quantum action ripple. Choose one small aligned action in the next 24 hours, maybe sending 1 email, writing 1 paragraph, stepping into a conversation you've been avoiding. As you do it, pause mid-action and say silently, I act as though the quantum field already supports me.
Feel the ripple.
Then after action, write in a journal, what did I feel? What shifted? Why this works? The Nobel discovery showed that energy quantization in circuits makes what seems impossible become possible. In your life, taking action sends a quantum signal into your field, and your consciousness aligns that with your new identity. Let's integrate a story. Maria in Chicago had been unemployed for 6 months, feeling invisible. She used step 1. She sat every morning visualizing the barrier of I'm stuck and letting awareness tunnel through. Then step 2, she wrote, I am the person who creates meaningful work in service of others. She tapped her heart, read it aloud. Then step 3, she sent one email to a nonprofit she admired. She paused mid-action and affirmed, "I act as though the quantum field already supports me." 2 weeks later, she was offered a short-term contract. She wrote in her journal, "I felt a subtle lightness, I felt seen." This is the method: awaken dash, align dash, amplify. The beauty: you don't wait for outer circumstances to change you. You shift your inner circuit. You engage with the quantum field. You move from limitation to creation. In the next section, how lives are transformed when this becomes lived reality. Transformation is not a one-time event, but a becoming. When you apply the method consistently, you see changes. Your inner field changes. Your outer world changes. The quantum discovery isn't just metaphor, it's template. Just as the scientists observed macroscopic systems entering quantum behavior, your daily life begins behaving as though you are part of the quantum system, not just subject to it. What does transformation look like? Following sets of markers: shift in identity. You no longer say, "I'm stuck," or "this always happens to me." You say, "I am the creator of my day." You feel you participate rather than just witness. Elevation of vibration. Your emotional baseline becomes optimism, gratitude, curiosity. You sense the quantum field as friendly, supporting. You move from fear to possibility. Co-creative results. Opportunities appear. You notice synchronicities. You find people, messages, ideas cascading into your life. Not because you forced them, but because your inner circuit aligned. An emotional story. David, a father and teacher in Texas, had lost his wife 2 years ago and felt numb. He stopped his writing ambitions. "Why bother?" he asked. Then he discovered the quantum spiritual framework. He began step 1, sitting each morning visualizing the barrier of grief and letting awareness tunnel. Step 2, I am the person who teaches and writes with open heart, bringing light. Step 3, he wrote 1 page each night about a fictional father who loses his partner and then finds his voice. He acted as though the field supported him. 3 months later, a publisher's assistant reached out after his blog post. 6 months later, his book deal came through. More importantly, he felt alive again. He felt the quantum field saying, "Come home to your voice." Transformation means you no longer wait for perfect conditions. The Nobel-winning scientists didn't wait for large systems to become macroscopic. They made them.
You don't wait for your life to be perfect. You align your field now.
In relationships, you begin to treat others as fellow participators in the quantum field. In money, you see abundance as a vibration you tune to, not a prize you chase.
In purpose, you sense your mission is not separate from the universe unfolding. It is the universe unfolding through you.
Here are some signs your transformation is real. You feel more intuitive, you make decisions quickly, you feel grounded yet expansive, you experience flow rather than forcing. People around you notice you changed. Your energy, your eyes, your tone.
The outer world catch up.
But caution, transformation also means you take responsibility. You can no longer blame world conditions. You see, something moved inside.
The wall you used to bump into?
It begins to fade. Tunneling becomes natural. And this leads into the final section, the mission. Because the story isn't just about you, it's about something greater.
When you embody quantum spiritual manifestation, your mission becomes clear.
You are part of a greater wave. The Nobel discovery reminds us, quantum phenomena, once thought tiny and isolated, are now being harnessed for computing, sensors, technologies. You too become part of a quantum wave of consciousness. What is your mission? It might be to heal, teach, create, love, uplift.
The world needs you.
The old paradigm of separation is breaking. The quantum age invites a new paradigm: unity, co-creation, consciousness. Here are 3 mission pillars.
PR1, be the field, you live from the quantum field.
Not as victim nor as passive receiver. Your thoughts, emotions, intentions become measurable, not by a machine, but by your lived experience. You act as though the barrier is gone, as though you are stepping into field possibility every day. That energy radiates outward.
PR2, serve the wave. You recognize you're not just changing your life. You're raising the collective.
Just as the Nobel scientists weren't working in isolation, but advancing knowledge that benefits all, you too contribute. When you manifest health, joy, purpose, You inspire others to awaken.
You ripple the field.
Pillar 3. Expand the possibility. You challenge limitation not just for yourself but for humanity. Everything is quantum means everything is possibility. If the scientists showed quantum tunneling in circuits, you show quantum manifestation in life. You become living proof that the invisible realm is the foundation of the visible. Exercise for mission. Write a quantum mission statement. In one sentence, my mission is to, and add, so that, example, my mission is to empower people to live from their quantum field so that humanity awakens to infinite possibility. Read it aloud each week. Then pick one aligned action each month that serves your mission. Maybe host a live session, write a blog, mentor someone, donate your energy.
Before the action, pause, ground yourself.
Remember you are part of the quantum field. After, note how it ripples. Let's share an emotional mission story. Lila, a yoga instructor in Los Angeles, suddenly felt the weight of her mission after applying the method. She asked, if everything is quantum, then my class is more than a workout, it's a vortex of consciousness. She changed her language, we're tuning the field. She started offering a quantum flow class where she guided students through the morning quantum pause and alignment. Her classes filled. Her students reported shifts in relationships, energy, purpose. Her mission expanded beyond yoga. She became a teacher of quantum manifestation. So your mission is bigger than your day job. It's the invitation to shift the field of being. The Nobel discovery is your scientific ally, showing quantum rules apply not just to atoms but to life systems. You don't need to wait for proof, you become proof. Call to action. For your viewers, subscribe, share, comment. Stand in your mission today. Pick the one aligned action. Report back. Join this quantum spiritual community. Let's manifest together. Because this is not about trying to manifest. It's about knowing you manifest. It's about remembering your quantum origin and living it. So now, reflect, breathe, act. The field is ready. You are ready. The world is ready. Let's quantum manifest our highest purpose, together.
You are the field itself, concealed alive limited. Every thought you hold shapes the waves of reality. If this strayed something in you, like, share and subscribe. Tell us in the comments. What wall are you tunneling through this week? Together we rise as quantum creators. This is your moment. Step into field and live your truths.